This is Mealavie. I just wanted to tell you this that remember I love to make these moon flatbreads, flatbread. It's got no yeast in, and I especially like to make it this time with a full moon or with a new moon. Remember, both of them are so significant. For the new moon brings in new energy, a start of something new, new energy exchange, where also you get to the point where you can go into taking up new ventures, taking up new initiatives in the job creation, even stepping into new things that could align you better to your destiny or purpose as such. These are moon flatbreads that I make. I love to make them, and they're so easy to make. I wanted to give you a recipe on this, and you can use cheese, or you can even use them as a pita bread as such, with some lovely things on it, cottage cheese, or I, for instance, have made avo guacamole with a few things. I normally, with the avo, I add some garlic, salt, white pepper preferably, and I put some spices of my preference there in as well. I also add some lemon as well, so that it can keep its color and keep it fresh as well. That if you wanted to store it or freeze it or something, that you can do that as well. Okay, so this is just some how you make the flatbread. I want to just give you some advice on that. I normally just take about a cup and a half full of normal flour. You can also use stone flour, which is more rustic, more like rye bread flour, which is sometimes better. But you need to remember, with bread, the yeast belly that they talk about, that makes us fat, is the yeast in the bread. That is really the thing that's not good in the current bread the white and the brown bread that we have on the system of the market. But when you use the flour without yeast, and this is literally just flour and water. Flour and water, as easy as that, and you mix it into a dough ball, and you add any spices or herbs of your choice with it. If you want it salty, you can add salty taste. If you want it a bit more sweet, you can add whatever. There's no eggs, nothing like that coming in this flatbread. And I call it the moon one because it's the shape of the moon as such. And so what I would do is I would put very little oil of olive, or even I love avo oil as well, and even a bit of butter, maybe real butter. You can put that and just line your pan as such. I've got a gas stove that's quick to do then. And then you really, this is not a deep fried thing. You need to understand, this is not a fat cook that you deep fry. It's not that. It's really just lining it with a little bit of oil at the bottom. And then you basically make out of a cup and a half full of flour, a cup to a cup and a half with water, you can make about 3, like this here. I've made 3 of these moon flatbreads as such. And it's yeast free. That's what makes it so amazing, in my opinion, and that makes it healthy as well. And very little oil. It's important that you use very little oil as well, because oil is not healthy either. Too much of it as such. Okay, so and then you just roll them into balls, stretch them out, and put them in your pan. I've got a little pannetjie here that literally has got a small base that I make these in as well. Okay, so this is just some ideas for keeping healthy. I also like to make spinach and feta quiches. I love to make I use, there's so amazing recipes that you can even use for that. I love making a saltort or quiche as well. And you can literally take any vegetables and things you've got in the house, cut them up. If you do use onions, just caramelize them first before you put them in. Don't put them in just raw. It does make a difference in the taste of it. And adding some garlic and I love my spices and herbs, and these stuff is there to, it's sometimes I put too much spices in. I don't think everybody always likes that, but I just wanted to give you some advice on some healthy things you can do to just have some meal in the morning, and make it. It's so quick to do. You don't need to leave it to rise. These moon breads, you literally form them, shape them, and put them in your pan to basically just fill it out, and you it's amazing. You can roll them if you want. If you make them flat enough, I can imagine that you can roll them. If you take a roller and you roll them out flatter, you can definitely make a roti kind of thing with it as well. It's very much similar to a roti. It's just I'd like to have it a bit more rougher. I do mix stone flour with stone flour. It just means it's a rougher flour. It's not so refined as just normal flour. So I mix the two together. Sometimes that's what I mainly do. Okay, so this is Mealavie. Just some ideas on some healthy living. I've lost quite a bit of kilogram, like 38 in the last two and a half years. Yeah, so no, it's not a lot. I still have a long way to go. But yeah, just some moon breeds for you on this new lovely new moon that you've got currently. And just remember that your gratitude in the morning, set up when you get up early in the morning, make a gratitude journal or a thank you journal of things that you can be grateful for. These morning pages are so amazing to write. And making I stay alone, and I always hate eating alone, so I used to not make a fuff with food, and so I've neglected myself in that sense a lot. But I realized, you need to get some ways of making it exciting and making it different, and making your body a sacred temple to God, abstaining from things that can harm and hurt you. That's very vital and important. Okay, Mealavie, up close and personal, just some recipe you might like to follow. Have a lovely day.